Yes. What's happening, everybody? It is Friday afternoon. Just had the weigh-ins here about 4 hours ago. Everybody made weight. Not everybody looked great, but it was pretty standard weigh-ins here. Nothing spectacular, nothing really that showy. So we are gonna continue to just kind of move on with the reads that I already had for this week. And everything that I'm giving you so far on this parlay, the first three legs is actually a track bet of mine. So I feel good about these spots. The lines have moved quite a bit from where I got them when they opened, but that's a good sign. It shows you that most of the public is also kind of agreeing with the sentiment of whether these fights are going to go over or under. And in particular, two of the ones that I got early in the week, I think stylistically, just from narrative wise and stylistically with how they fight, set up really good for potential finishes or overs. So yeah, we're going to get right down to it, you guys. 4-leg parlay is how we do this every week. I break it down for you guys on DraftKings. You can go to any other site and parlay it there as well. But I think one of these legs might only be available on DraftKings or other sites that do alternative over-unders. But we're going to give you all 4 legs of this parlay. We didn't do one for the what card was that? When I was in Greece. I don't know, whatever the last card was, whatever the headliner was, we did not do a Greasy 4-legger for that because I didn't do any content once I got to Greece. I was unable to even get on any of the gambling sites, unfortunately. But the 2 weeks before that, we have hit both of them. So we're on a 2-week winning streak right now with this Greasy 4-leg parlay. And out of the last 4 of them, out of the 16 bets that we gave out on this show, 14 of them have cashed. So really, I'm looking to stay hot here. And like I say, I don't really love the lines of a couple of these right now in terms of where they're priced, but stylistically, I really like them. And always at the end of the day, the goal is to cash. So let's cash 3 in a row here. And we're going to start with leg number 1 for this parlay is going to be the under 2.5 rounds for Manus versus Mendoza. Let me share my screen with you guys here. We are on the DraftKings Sportsbook. And just right here on the fight lines page, on the main page, we can go right to the Manus Mendoza fight and see under 2.5 rounds here is currently priced at minus 140. So it's very expensive. I actually got this bet earlier this week at plus 115, and it opened at plus 140. So it was priced a lot more advantageously early in the week. But the thing is, if you looked at the weigh-ins today, Nate Manus looked like Christian Bale in The Machinist. He looked like a walking skeleton out there. He's a 5'10" flyweight. It's just not the right weight class for him. And it's not just about making the weight. It's about how you perform 24 hours after making the weight on fight day, after you rehydrate. Are you going to perform as well as you do in the gym when you're walking around 25 pounds heavier than that? The chances are you're not. So what does he give up in order to make this weight? And whenever you see people cutting weight, and in this case, Mendoza is cutting to 125 for the first time in his career, and Manus making a very dangerous weight cut 2 times in a row here and down to 126 pounds. But both these guys were on weight early. They were ready to go. So it looks like the weight cuts went according to plan, but you will be less durable when you cut that much weight, when you take that much fluid out of your body. So potentially we could see a finish here. Manus has got a lot of power on the feet, and he gets hit a lot. And Mendoza, very slick with his submissions, 4 submissions in his career, wins, and all of them are with different submissions. So he's very versatile with his attack when fights do get to the ground. So I see this fight finishing inside the distance. First leg, under 2.5 rounds, minus 140 here. Leg number 2 of this parlay is going to be the over 2.5 rounds in the Hernandez versus Algeo fight. So if I were to share my screen with you guys here, and we're going to take a look at the prop template that's available on the advanced tier of your Uncle Weezy's Patreon. What this does is it takes the betting lines for every bet that's available as an over or under bet on most sports books. It converts that betting line into an implied probability. It gives you the divisional fight goes to decision rate, the divisional under 1.5 rounds rate, the divisional fight starts round 2 rate, whatever bet that you could possibly be making. We have the implied probability of the line, the benchmark for the division, and then the combined UFC history of both fighters and whether they go over what percentage they go over 2.5 rounds at. And we compare those three metrics to each other to find out if there's any value on the betting lines. Now, when I made the Manus Mendoza fight, which is now minus 140, it looks like we're overpaying here, but that's fine because we're seeing two guys cutting down to 125. Mendoza for the first time, Manus for the second. Stylistically, it lines up well, but we are overpaying for that line. But that's okay. If stylistically it hits, that's always the most important thing. For leg 2, Hernandez versus Algeo, we're going to notice that over 2.5 rounds here, 61% of fights do go over 2.5 rounds in the featherweight division. It's definitely a fight where, or it's definitely a division where the division does not finish as high as the divisions that bookmark it. The bantamweight division finishes at about 50%. The lightweight division finishes at about 50%. This division finishes about 43.5%. So I always like betting overs in this particular weight class. And Hernandez, 4 of his 11 fights have went over 2.5 rounds, but for Algeo, it's 5 of 7. And the ones that didn't were against Herbert Burns, who has about 3 minutes of cardio before he gasses out and literally gives up. He tried to give up in between the first and second round. But his brother talked him into going back out there and getting his ass shaved some more. And he obliged him in that by getting his ass shaved and getting finished in the second round due to exhaustion. And the other one was against TJ Brown, who's just awful. So really, Bill Algeo is a guy who's going to go to decision a lot more than he doesn't at this weight class, especially when he's fighting a competent UFC level fighter, somebody that's not TJ Brown, somebody that's not Herbert Burns. And in this case, he's getting an 11-fight veteran, a guy who, got thrown into the deep end of the pool, made his debut against Beneil Dariush. He's fought Cerrone. He's fought Olivier Aubin-Mercier, Thiago Moises. The list goes on. Alexander Hernandez has been tested by a lot of good fighters at this level. So I think that this one does go over. Bill Algeo is a guy who doesn't have a whole lot of power, and he does have a slick submission game, but it's really a lot better when he's the one that's on top. And I think Hernandez is the much better wrestler here, the much more likely guy to get takedowns. And Algeo is very durable, never been knocked out in his career, never been dropped in the UFC. So I like this fight to be a back and forth war. I think it'll be pretty close. And I think that it coasts over 2.5 rounds here. And we cash the second leg of this parlay, which is the over 2.5 rounds. Alexander Hernandez versus Bill Algeo at minus 125 here. So we just scroll down here to Algeo versus Hernandez, over 2.5 rounds, minus 125. Click right there. That brings us up to plus 208 for this 2-leg parlay. Now, leg number 3. It's going to be the Alex Morono versus Joaquin Buckley over 1.5 rounds at minus 145 here. If we look at the prop template for this one, this is what we call a trifecta bet. This one here, we can see that the price of the line at minus 145 is 59.18%. Now, a lot more fights in the welterweight division go over that number, specifically 66.62% of welterweight fights that are scheduled for 3 rounds go over 1.5 rounds. So we're getting a 7.44% break when we compare that metric to the price of the line. Here we see that Alex Morono's fights are going over 1.5 rounds 13 of 18 times, about 75%. And for Joaquin Buckley, it's 7 of 10. So it's exactly 70%. 71.43% of their combined UFC fights have went over 1.5 rounds. That's 12.24% better than the price of the line here at 59.18%. And then in addition to that, these guys are going over 1.5 rounds, 71%. The division only does it at 66.2. So they're going over that rate combined at a higher rate than what the division does as a whole. So we're receiving a 7.44% break here, a 12.24% break here, a 4.81% break here. This is what we call a trifecta bet. It's underpriced in all three comparisons of metrics that we have to determine value. And so we really like this one here going over 1.5 rounds. Not only does the data like it, not only do I like it, as I don't see these guys as being one-punch knockout guys in the first round especially. We've never even seen Buckley do it. 9 of his 10 fights have went to round 2 at the UFC level, just so he only one of his 10 fights, 10% of the time, is he finishing in round number 1. So definitely like this one to go over 1.5 rounds. The price is right, and the data likes it, and I think the stylistic matchup likes it as well. So that brings us here. Now we got to go back up. We go to alternative total rounds here under fight lines, and we're going to scroll down to Alex Morono versus Joaquin Buckley. Over 1.5 rounds, minus 145. That brings this parlay up to plus 421. So what we can do now is give you a fat leg to finish out this parlay so that we can potentially hedge out if the first 3 legs do hit in order to guarantee us some money. We can just take the other side of the 4th leg, and then that way we know we can guarantee however much we want to guarantee just by basically doing the math based on what we put into the parlay already, what the line is to arb out, and how much you want to put on that in order to guarantee a certain amount of profit. So leg number 4 is going to be the Grant Dawson money line in the main event at minus 455. This is a fight that I think Grant Dawson easily wins. I think he probably wins this thing about 8 to 9 times out of 10, and it's just an easy leg to take. He's one of these guys who has 9 UFC fights. He's 8 wins, 0 losses, and a draw in those 9 fights. Now that he's went over to American Top Team, we're seeing a much better version of a great version of Grant Dawson that we used to see when he was at Glory MMA under James Krause. So he's really kind of made that move in order to take the next step in his career, and we're seeing it happen in front of our eyes. Dominates Demiris Magulov, dominates Mark Madsen, clearly getting to their back in all 3 rounds, finishing Mark Madsen late, coming close to finishing Demiris Magulov several times. And Bobby Green is somebody that we haven't seen face a lot of wrestling since 2013, not really since the Jacob Volkman fight, which was his debut in 2013. Have we really seen him and Clay Guida really kind of go out there and test that grappling defense? And in a couple of spots where I did see Bobby Green taken down, I saw him giving up his back in order to get back up. And if you do that against Grant Dawson, you know, you're not only going to get your back taken, but he's going to ride out the rest of the round there or finish you. So I see Grant making this look pretty easy here. It's a nice high implied probability line here that rounds this out to plus 535 here on DraftKings Sportsbook, and gives us a nice opportunity to say at the end, like, oh, Bobby Green's plus 350, so maybe I can put a half unit on him in order to win 1.75 units. Let's say if you have a half unit on the parlay, if Green wins, you still win 1.25 units, but you would win 2.6 something units if you left it alone, but you would only win 2.1 if you arbed out by putting a half unit on Green. But either way there, you could lock in a profit if the first 3 legs do cash in. So 535, we've hit 2 in a row. 3 is the magic number, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try to make it 3 in a row. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. I appreciate all 28 of you that are hanging out live. Welcome to everybody that's watching this on the replay. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. Leave me a comment down below if you like any of these legs, if you'd add something else to it, what you think might not cash, what you're not comfortable with. Please let me know in the comments down below, and please consider joining that Patreon where you get access to products like the prop template, like the advanced stats, so you could do the matchup stats side by side and have all the available information at your fingertips before you make any decisions on betting. This is really for the analytical bettor. It's great products in order to really kind of give you more information to peruse before you make your decisions on gambling. And that's the best way to do it. This is not financial advice, obviously, but this is a great product in order to help you make good decisions because you'll have all the available information at your fingertips. So please consider joining that Patreon. But even if you don't do that, leave me a comment, hit that thumbs up, and hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the great content here on the channel. And let's see, we have got Flo being the first in the room, giving us an oi. What's up, Flo? We got TH in there saying, oi, what's up, Weezy? What's up is the flapjack stack. We're up 3 weeks in a row here. Looking to just build on this winning streak. We've got 2 greasy 4-leggers that have hit in a row. Ass shavings of the week, or shaving ass in brutal fashion. So that's what's up, man. We just want to keep it rolling, TH. We got Kristen in the room. What is happening? Saying, oi. Hi, Weezy. What's up, Kristen? Welcome. Thank you for hanging out as usual. We got Gene Ellis in the room saying the greasy 4-legger. Let's go. Back from the country of Greece, giving you the greasy 4-legger. Let's hope we hit 3 of these in a row. And then that way we can try next week to make it 4 in a row on the greasy 4-legger. 4 and 4. That would be sweet if we could pull that off. We got D-Gen in the room saying, oi. We got Mark Frost in the room saying, what's up, Weezy? We got my guys, the Chronic Combat Conversation, saying, give me the grease, Unc. What's up, you guys? Saying, not nearly enough likes on this video. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. It's free. Why not, huh? We got my guy Monk Maddox in the room saying, grease me up, woman. Channeling my inner groundskeeper Willie this afternoon. Yeah, man. Dude, groundskeeper Willie, he's ripped, dude. That dude is absolutely shredded, and then he can absolutely be greased up in order to fit into small holes if it need be. So our guy, groundskeeper Willie, always doing the hard work over at Springfield Elementary. We got Lou Betcha in the room saying, oi, what is happening, Lou? Saying no shoeies on this show. What is this, North Korea? Dude, you know I don't drink good beer out of shoes, man. I am too much of a beer snob. Let's just be honest. I'm a beer snob. I'm not putting it in any of my nasty shoes to drink it. But big ups to Lou Betya, who on last night's happy hour with Monk and Lou did a shoey of an Imperial IPA. Those Imperial IPAs are usually in the neighborhood of 9%. Wow. A true professional, a great capper, a great team of Monk and Lou. Always in the room here. Good to see you, my man. We got my guy, Rob Pagorni, who I saw last night, hanging out with him while we watched our Chicago Bears get a nice win over the Washington Redskins. Excellent to see my guy Rob in here saying, stay hot, Unc. Flapjacks for breakfast Sunday morning, like the tickets we stack in Hoke. In Hoke to you, my brother. And we'll be seeing you at the golf outing next week. Fernandez is bringing me along for the golf outing over at Ridgemore. Let's get 18 holes in and have some fun. We got my guy Robert Saladino in the room. What's up? Can't see, a tad blurry. Please say out loud what are 4 parlays. So the first leg, Robert, is going to be the under 2.5 rounds in the Nate Maness versus Mateus Mendoza fight at minus 140. Leg number 2 is going to be the over 2.5 rounds in the Alexander Hernandez versus Bill Algeo fight at minus 125. Leg number 3, Alex Morono versus Joaquin Buckley over 1.5 rounds at minus 145. And leg number 4, Robert, is going to be the Grant Dawson money line at minus 455. That checks in at plus 535 on DraftKings Sportsbook, Robert. Always good to see you hanging out in here, brother. Appreciate you. We got my guy Victor De Jesus, Grand Rapids, Michigan's very finest, saying, "Oi, what is up, Vic? Good to see you hanging out in here." We got Raccoon the Best in the room saying, "Oi, what is happening?" We got the Hakata Police saying, "We out here, baby." We got the Train in the room saying, "Uncle Weezy, I need life advice." Dude, I don't give life advice. I give advice on parlays that may or may not cash and that cannot be considered financial advice. That's what I do. The Train. What is happening with you? We got Lou Betcha saying it sucked, dude. Yeah, an Imperial IPA I would like. I know it's not your favorite kind of beer. It was what you had around for it, but yeah, out of a shoe, it probably made it taste worse than it normally would have. Monk saying, "Haha, catch another shoey next week." Do you guys got another bet this week? I didn't see, man. Robert Saladino saying he's in. Let's go, Robert. Let's make this one 3 in a row. We got Real Deal Prime in the room, as always, letting us know that wrestling rules, and it does when it comes to MMA, and it's a great sport on its own. We got the Swinger in the room. What's happening? Saying, let's make that cheddar. Let's go, Uncle Weezy. I was over at the Swinger's place watching the Bears last night with some of my old fraternity brothers. Always good to see those cats. We got Green Bat saying, housing them hoes this Saturday. Housing them bookies, man. Housing them, taking their money and running home with it. And then maybe putting on some old school Chicago house music to dance the night away as we have a great night on the bookies, spending the money that they gave us for making the right picks. We got Lou Betya saying, "No, I owe him 2. I only had 1 beer in the house." Oh, okay. Well, that should count as 2, dude. That's a double IPA. An Imperial IPA means like double the alcohol, and it was a tall boy, it looked like. So maybe that's, I don't know, but that's that. I'm not going to get in between you and Monk. You got your deal, you know. Nobody bet 2 shoeys on Fat Collier. Yeah, I mean, did I pick Collier or did I pick Usman? Shit, I didn't pick either because that was the week I was in Greece, so I actually had no official picks, and I was happy to have no official picks. So I can't say that, you know, I have to shame either one of you because I don't think that I would have even had a pick on that fight. So yeah, that's rough though. Losing a shoey because of a bet because you had one on Fat Collier. That's rough, man. Robert Saladino saying Joe might be overconfident, which I'm hoping on putting a unit on him losing. You never know, man. Dude, in this game, you know, overconfidence and disrespecting your opponent is something that just doesn't work well, especially not at this level. Everybody at this level is talented. And, you know, a guy like Morono, dude, you know, he was one big shot that he ate from Santiago Ponzinibbio away from being on a five fight winning streak here in the UFC's welterweight division. This guy, you know, has got a really good record. Morono is 12-5 in the UFC, and Joaquin Buckley 6-4. You know, so Alex is finding ways to win. He knows how to fight optimally, and I think that fight's going to go pretty much damn near all the way to decision. And I like that over 1.5. I've got a track bet for that for 1 unit. And note that's that's the Fat Collier penalty, says Monk. And we got Pickle Kush. If it's airtight, it's all right. If it's greasy, it's easy. Words for life, you know, words of wisdom from our guy Pickle Kush. Good to see you hanging out in here. Thank you guys for watching. All 32 of yous in here live right now. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you hit that subscribe, please consider joining the Patreon. Leave me a comment down below. Appreciate all of you guys. Let's all stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 80. Enjoy the fights. Let's make some money. Robert is saying, what was your most confident pick in recent memory that lost? I'm ashamed to say I picked Gane over Jones. I picked Gane over Jones as well, but it was, for me, it was Kennedy and Nchekwu over Destin Jacoby. Put a max bet on Nchekwu. I thought he was just going to kind of like survive the first and then just break him in the second. And he got dropped. The fight got stopped way too soon, but that's what happens. Kennedy sometimes gets sparked early, and he got sparked early there. And I was very confident in it, and I got super burned. So, yeah, it happens to the best of us. We learn from our mistakes, we move on, and we try not to make that same mistake again. And that's part of this, is that it's like my man Ted Knight said in the classic movie called Caddyshack. It's easy to grin when your ships come in and you've got the stock market beat. But a man worthwhile is a man who can smile when his shorts are too tight in the seat. And ladies and gentlemen, those are words to live by, because it's easy to be doing well when things are going well, right? But it's when things are tough. Are you learning from your mistakes? Are you picking yourself up when you get knocked down? And are you learning the necessary lessons to make sure that it doesn't happen again? So yes, that's how we do this. We try to learn from our mistakes. We don't lose, we learn, and we move on. And hopefully, I cannot promise you guys that I won't lose money on Kennedy and Checkwu fights going forward, but maybe I won't be so overconfident laying juice on a guy like that when he's facing a stud veteran like Dustin Jacoby. But thank you guys for hanging out. Good luck on the fights. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 80. And I will see you guys on the watch along on Pub Sports Radio while the fights are going on. And then again on Pub Sports Radio on Sunday, 6:15 Central Time for Stat Diggers and my guy DFS by the numbers. Stoic living, bro, says Robert Saladino, and I agree with you, my man. Be stoic. Take your wins in stride. Learn from your losses. Don't be a dick about things. Appreciate all you guys. Have a great day. We will see you for these fights live, and we will see you on Sundays, Pub Sports Radio, 6:15 Central Time. Take care, everybody.